I'm not a singular person. I don't trust people in my private life. Why would I trust people off the internet? It's really crazy. You know, I I came to this platform looking to find like-minded people that had been through similar things that I had been through, had similar stories, because I had never heard anyone talk about the foster care system or the Department of Corrections or anything of importance or relevance to my life. So, yeah, I have to do that myself because people don't like to talk about real things. And also, people like to run for their problems. I like to confront them head on. So I was talking about the Ironman. I'm so sick of these technology problems. I am on Wi-Fi. I'm on Wi-Fi. Yeah. And, whatever. It is what it is. I'm too tired to deal with the bullshit. I literally had no sleep. So I don't really care. I don't really give a fuck if you can hear me or not. You know what I mean? I'm just going to push out and do my fucking job. It's really annoying to pay all of this money for devices and to always have these problems. Apparently, I'm the only person on earth that has technology problems too, because nobody else ever complains about phone service. It's just me. It's just me. 5G just doesn't work for me. Oh, Lord. So I want to do this race. I want to sign up for this race. The thing is now I'm seeing that they have them all over the world, and I have a passport and I can go wherever I want. I'm going to do the half Ironman first. So the half Ironman is going to be 70 miles. The full is going to be 140. And a triathlon is going to run you 25 miles. Well, I've been doing about 3 triathlons a week, which is around 75, 85 miles. And I'm going to start training for a full iron. Well, I'm going to train for the half iron first, and then I'm going to complete a full iron. But I did not know that they had these events all over the world. And so the next one they have is actually in Wilmington, but I will not be prepared to do this by then. So by the time that they have it. So I'm trying to figure out where I should go and what I should do. So they have one in let's see, France, Switzerland. There's some places I don't want to go. Austria and Belgium. The only one that they have in America is going to be in Wisconsin, and it'll be September. So I wouldn't be able to do that because I'm going to be training through September. I don't know. They have a new list coming at the beginning of the year. I really would like to do it in the spring or the fall. Hold on 1 second. And I was reading back here that they have a whole nother race where you do the 70, I think it's like you do 70 miles and then you have to run the rest of the way. I would like to do that one too. So you bike half the trip and then you run the rest of the way. Let's see if I can get the race details up. For some reason, my Wi-Fi is not working. Yeah, the sound was not off. It's really crazy that people are like, hit the mute button, hit the mute button. It has nothing to do with the mute button. Jesus, it's just me. I'm the only one that goes through these problems. I hate websites, y'all. I really do. Like, maybe Maybe I should design them. Because, like, you can't find shit on websites. It's just like, what are you doing? Why was that even over there? Like, that should have been over here. Let's see. Courses. Course overview. That's going to be the track, right? That's going to be the course that I'll be running, right? And it doesn't say a singular thing about a fucking course. Oh, here we go. The 2-loop, 3.8 kilometer swim. Hold on, y'all. Sorry. They don't write English anymore. They don't know how to spell. They don't know how to correlate sentences, form them together. You know, if they didn't have 8 different websites for like every year and they like deleted their old websites, like literally. If you go to the home of the Ironman, it still has the 24 schedule up for last year. So are they not doing this year, or I don't know. One minute I find one website that says one thing and then I find another one that says something else. And this is why I get annoyed, because it's like, can y'all be more clear? So 70 miles is what I just need to focus on for the next 2 months. I've already gotten up past, 25, 30 miles a day. So it won't be that hard. It's just pushing myself and getting in a few extra miles every day, maybe an extra 5 to 10 until I build up to 70 miles. So a full Ironman, you're going to swim 2.5 miles, bike 112 miles, and then run 26 miles. A half Ironman, you're going to swim 1.5 miles, bike 56 miles, and run 13 miles. So you're literally going to be going from one to the other. So you would start on the bike, you'd bicycle 56 miles, then you would run 13 miles, then you would swim the last 1.5 miles, and then it would be completed. And you have to qualify for these too. Like, you have to like go through, you have to participate. A triathlon is an endurance race that involves swimming, cycling, and running in succession with competitors racing for the fastest overall time. The sport debuted at the 2000 Sydney Olympics and has seen increased participation globally since. We're going to do it. It might take me a year, but we'll do it. Oh, God. Y'all, I'm so tired. I didn't get any sleep last night. We were on the streets. Like every night. And, yeah, I just couldn't sleep. I actually sat down under a tree in front of McDonald's at like 5 a.m. and passed out for like 20 minutes. And then I woke up and I see cop car right beside me. I was like, of course I'd wake up with the police rolling by. Like, I was like, well, at least the cops are going by. I done accidentally fell asleep in the middle of town, out in the open, right on a street corner, literally. And I just happened to wake up and I look over and the cops are rolling by through the parking lot. I was like, all right. Well, if I'm going to fall asleep, I guess then was the best time to, Jesus. I don't know how I fell asleep. I sat down for 2 seconds. Well, I didn't have any sleep. So I sat down for 2 seconds and somehow got warm because it's freezing and passed out. Let's see what's going on with this baby. So one of you guys told me about this case with this child that went missing. And it's called the Big Five. This woman claim that she was shopping at some craft store, furniture store. I don't know what the big five is. Sorry, I've never even been into home goods. It's like people that think there's a Target and a Walmart everywhere, you know, like people that live in the city, like they don't know what middle America looks like, you know. We don't have home goods. We ain't got no gyms around here. There's no homeless shelter. This is middle America. There's not a mall and a Starbucks on every corner, Stephanie, okay? So it's called the Big Five. I guess it's a sporting goods store. So this lady says that she was at the sporting goods store, that she was picking up something for one of her other children. She had 3 children. It's a man and a woman, 3 children. She said that she needed to pick up some kind of sporting equipment for one of her sons that played football, at which time her youngest son, who was only 7 months old, who would be the victim of this kidnapping, and in my opinion, probably the victim of femicide. Yeah, I think that she said she was hit in the head, right? Yeah, that was the crazy part. She said, this girl lives in a movie in her head. She said that somebody come up to her, hit her in the head, and it incapacitated her, and she fell down as unconscious. She's been watching too many movies. So, anyways, she said that this child was yoked. And now investigators are looking at the parents. They're looking at her. They're looking at, and specifically the father of the child, the boyfriend in the life. Somebody said that they were, hold on one second, searching the home. They've already took custody of her other children 2 hours ago. Oh, hey, Brooke. Thank you. Blake, hello. Chris, hello. So it looks like 2 hours ago, Los Angeles Times put out an article, Mystery Deepens into the missing California baby after the mother stops cooperating with investigators. So that was another thing. This human sack of shit decided that she was going to go to police and ask for help. And then mid-conversation, when they start doing their job and they notice that she's inconsistent, when she realizes that she's becoming the focus of this investigation, she immediately shuts down questioning and leaves and lawyers up. So, listen. I don't know. Maybe she just knows her rights. I don't think so. I think that she probably knew she was busted and stopped cooperating. You know, she realized that that her and her boyfriend was the main suspects, and she shut down. It's as simple as that. This poor child was had disabilities. Listen, I'm not saying that people don't want disabled children. But what I am saying is the probability of this child being kidnapped with a disability, knowing that he's going to need around-the-clock care or special care, highly unlikely. That some rando would kidnap a child that they're going to have to take extra care of. Do you see what I'm saying? And we don't typically see children this small kidnapped for nefarious reasons anyways. And there's been no ransom. Like, these people are guilty of sin. I literally read one sentence of a news article and I already knew. Last night. So the mother of this missing boy, she's no longer cooperating with authorities. She claimed that he was kidnapped. And authorities are saying that her story is inconsistent and that they're not ruling out foul play. And matter of fact, I do believe that they've already been searching their property. They took dogs out there to look for a body. Rebecca said that she was changing her son when somebody, knocked her unconscious and just stole the kid. She said when she woke up, the baby was gone. I mean, it's actually laughable because these criminals are actually getting dumber. The fact that she oh, God. Yeah. Doesn't happen that way, Kelly. Sorry. That's it. That's all they're saying. Like, I mean, I am so sick of the media. They write half-ass articles nowadays. Went in and checked for CCC cams. her boyfriend has priors for beating on children too. Yeah. Yeah, he had been charged with, like, harming children. You know, she didn't even sound believable on the news, y'all. I wish I could say she had good acting skills, but absolutely not. I see through the bullshit. They need to hurry up and arrest her and her boyfriend. There is no surveillance. There was no surveillance. That's one of the things. Oh, thank you. That's one of the things we saw last night. There was no surveillance, or that we read about. There was no surveillance. And, you know, here's the thing. Modern society, we would think that there's surveillance cameras everywhere, and typically there are in major cities. But I've noticed since COVID, there's been a reduction in security cameras being put up, probably because of the economy, okay? You would think that there's cameras everywhere. You know, unfortunately, those types of things are just, all systems are down. You got to be very careful. In this town, there's hardly any security cameras. You might see them at a private business here and there, but there ain't no cameras on the street corners. There's no cameras at the grocery store. I mean, it's crazy. There's cameras in the grocery store, but, like, you know what I mean? Because it's such a small town, they don't need that type of stuff because people are not around here. I mean, there's no crime here. I mean, there is, but it's not like, there's no crime here. In comparison to half of the country, there's no crime here. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's petty shit. Domestic disturbances. Bobby got drunk and tried to shoot his cows. And, I mean, it's just dumb shit. It's not like Greensboro where there's mass shootings every night. I mean, every morning on the WFMY News 2 will have shooting. They have, like, one whole segment on that channel that is nothing but crime, because the crime in North Carolina has gotten so bad. They have a whole special segment on TV just to talk about criminals that were arrested through the week on Sundays. It's crazy. So none of those people you ever see from Madison, though, because it's all petty shit here. I'm sure they've had some high-profile cases here. But in comparison to Greensboro, Winston-Salem, High Point, okay, there's no crime here. So they don't really have a need for tons of cameras. You know, you see them few, far, and in between. But to be at a sporting goods store that's a multi-billion-dollar company like Big Five, you would think that they would have cameras everywhere. That's kind of weird and sketchy. It'd be like Walmart not having cameras. Could you imagine? We always know that Walmart has cameras in the parking lot and inside the store. Yeah, I think COVID really impacted the infrastructure in so many different ways that people can't fathom. Security cameras would be one of them. I've noticed a reduction since COVID. So it's crazy. In the world of technology, you would think that cameras are everywhere, but be careful. You need to look for them. And just because they're hanging up on the wall doesn't mean that they work. More often than not, they don't work. If you need it to work and it's something really important, like your life depends on it, all of a sudden that camera don't work. So just be careful and do your due diligence when you're out here to look for cameras. I do, especially being homeless, especially when I was living out of a car. I would never leave my truck without inside of a camera. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I don't think that her story even makes sense. I think this woman's husband killed this child, and she's helped cover it up. I really do. They're not telling anything new. It's the same bullshit over and over, what they always do. How have you been, Careless Whispers? How have you been? Yeah, they said that there's no CCTV cameras. They couldn't get nothing. They couldn't see nothing. And it don't matter. Her story's a lie. Even if there were cameras, it would just confirm that she was a liar. You know what I mean? There would be no footage because they killed that child and they've dumped that child's body somewhere, in my opinion. This is a murder investigation. This is not a kidnapping. It's sad. It's crazy. Until they find a body, I guess technically it's kidnapping. But when they find a body, maybe I just have read so many cases. I understand how these things go. You know, I'm not trying to be cynical. I'm being rational. Huge difference. I hope that that baby is found safe. But statistically speaking, the probability of that happening is slim to none. Slim to none. It's already been over 48 hours. Even if they had just left that baby somewhere alive, that baby would be in the, like, starving, okay? Y'all, they did something to that baby. It was probably the guy who already had priors, and the woman is now helping cover it up. You know what I mean? Both of them deserve to be in jail. Hello, Ann. You know, Sierra, I was thinking about that, but I didn't, I was like, maybe the mother, because she had 5 other kids. How do you take care of 5 kids and then you have this little boy with a disability and you let the father beat the hell out of it? Allegedly, in my opinion. I have to agree with you, Sierra. I think that maybe the mother was overwhelmed, taking care of a special needs child. They need more one-on-one time. And it's a good, you're on to something there. Sierra said that maybe the mother was tired of taking care of a special needs child. And, I actually thought about that. Like, how do you take such good care of your other 5 children and then this poor child goes missing? I wonder if she allowed this. I'm wondering if it was like he got angry and hurt the kid. I don't know. But also, if she was overwhelmed and she snapped. Yeah. I don't know. Great point, Sierra. Yeah. Was it too much for her and she didn't want the burden of the extra? And it's not a burden. Don't get me wrong. You know what I mean? That's how she would have viewed it. But she didn't want the extra responsibility with a special needs child, maybe. Great possibility. I don't know. I had read something about them searching the home, and I can't even find that article now. How do I read something yesterday, and then we come back today, and it's gone? I thought it was on the internet for forever. What happened? What happened? So many mothers do that. Hold on one second. I need some sleep. I did wash. I am clean. You want to smell? I am clean, but I'm exhausted. I didn't get any sleep last night. My PMDD is really messing with me. It's premenstrual dysphoric disorder. It makes you have insomnia right before your period. It's actually lovely. Like, I don't need as much sleep and I can push out a lot more work, but being homeless can't really work. It's kind of hard being out here on the streets. Sorry. Damn, y'all. Some states do not play that shit. New Mexico. So I was looking for a different case. There was another girl. Her son went missing. Y'all might remember. It was a few years ago. It was a young girl, dark head, short, kind of heavy set. They couldn't find her baby, and come to find out, I think they found him. I think it found him in the waste field, but I could be wrong. Apparently, she like dumped him in a dumpster, and then they were looking. I'll find that case, but this is crazy because I was looking for that case and I found this one, and they actually burned this poor girl at the stake. And I say that lightly because A, she was a teenager. B, if you think that our upbringing as adults was bad, you know nothing about today's world. These children are not being reared in the right direction whatsoever. There's no guidance. There's no teaching. These children are being raised by cell phones. We thought we had it bad. No. I feel bad for these children. I really do, because it's not their fault that they're not wired right. Let's talk about this girl. Alexis Alva. She was sentenced to almost 20 years in New Mexico back in 2023 for throwing her baby in a dumpster. I do believe that this dumpster was approximately a mile from her high school. Let me just read it. I don't know if I agree with this child getting almost 20 years. Hear me out. I'm gonna read it. I don't know the case. I don't know if she like hurt her baby before she threw it in the dumpster. But I just want to say that parts of these crimes stem from a lack of intelligence, from being reared in the right direction. Our prefrontal cortex is responsible for decision making and impulse control. That's not developed till approximately 30. So we just put a lot on these children, and then when they're not raised right and they make poor fucking decisions, then we burn them at the stake. I just see both sides. I see both sides. How is it that a child molester can molest a 6-year-old little girl and get 11 months in prison? Hey, but this woman who was a child that killed a child, we're going to get into the details in a minute. I don't know if she just left him in there to suffocate. I don't know. So my opinion might change in a minute. But I'm specifically talking about these children who abandon children. How does she get almost 20 years? It doesn't make sense to me. It's just inconsistencies in the justice system is what I'm saying. New Mexico teenage mother was sentenced Monday to a mandatory 18 years in prison for tossing her newborn son in the trash bin behind a shopping center. Jurors convicted Alexis Alva, 19, and I just want to be clear, that is a child. She ain't even come into awareness yet, homie. She just started to breathe yesterday. We've got to stop putting too much on children too early. Jurors convicted Alexis, 19, of child abuse involving great bodily harm following a days-long trial last month with her public defender. They argued that her actions were not premeditated and that she previously had an undiagnosed mental health condition. Oh, the child did not die. This makes it even flipping worse. She didn't even kill her baby, and she got almost 20 years. But you can go molest a child and get less than 2 years. The baby didn't die. 3 people who were like dumpster diving or whatever, or around the area, it doesn't tell me. It doesn't tell me how they found the baby. It says that there was 3 people. The grace of God, he would have been deliberating a sentence in a murder case, and there was a high probability that the child would have died if it had not been found by 3 people looking through the dumpster that winter day in Hobbs, near the Texas border. So the baby didn't die. Police said a group of people were looking through the dumpster when they heard what they thought was, oh, I've seen this surveillance. I know exactly. I know. Yes. So I've seen this surveillance. You can see it on YouTube. There's 3 people dumpster diving. They find, it was a bag. No, it was a baby wrapped in a towel with the umbilical cord. And there's actually a woman in the surveillance footage. You can see that footage here on YouTube. She's like, oh my God, it's a baby. And like, they're passing, 2 people are passing this baby off. I remember the surveillance footage. So they moved a trash bag and found a baby inside, wrapped in a towel with its umbilical cord still attached. Thank God that blanket was in there. That blanket is probably what kept that baby alive. It kept the plastic away from the baby's face and added insulation and maybe even some extra air in there with that blanket. You've got the baby, the blanket, and then the plastic bag. If it would have just been the plastic bag, there's a great chance that that baby would have suffocated. So search warrants for this child's car, 19-year-old Alva, turned up blood evidence, clothing, and towels. Prosecutors argued during the trial that Alva made a choice to ignore her pregnancy and place her newborn son into trash bags. Oh. She's a fucking child. She has the mentality of like a 13-year-old. And she also had no parental guidance. So, you know, this is the type of things that happen when you don't have anybody to raise you. Nobody teaches you right from wrong, how to handle these situations. And she's a child herself who's pregnant, scared, and not knowing how to handle the situation. And also, might I add, she did not come from the best upbringing. So I see both sides. She absolutely should be in jail. But for 20 years, I mean, they literally burnt this child at the stake. And she was absolutely trying to kill that baby, which is why she should be behind bars. But she also has bipolar disorder, disassociation, and she's like has attachment issues. So that see, when you're abused as a child and you don't form proper attachments with your caregivers, and then you have children, you're incapable of attaching to your children. And so your children end up in a dumpster. This is a combination of poor parental guidance, trauma, and mental health problems that led to Ava doing this. Alva. People, I see both sides, you know. She's had nobody there for her. And she's still a child. 19 is still a child. Sorry if that hurts your feelings because you're 19. I mean, no offense. But 19 is absolutely the same thing as 16. I'm just sick of people putting too much pressure and expecting so much from children just because they want them to pay fucking taxes. Because that's what it stems from. Let's be clear. They graduate high school. They want them to go off to college. They want them to settle down. They want them to get married. They want them to push out children. They want them to take on all these loans. That's exactly why we rear children to grow up at fucking 18. It's about paying Uncle Sam. It's not about what's in the benefit of early childhood development or the future of those children that are turning into adults. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. 19 is still a child. And matter of fact, early 20s is still a child. The brain is not fully developed until approximately 25 to 30 years old. I understand that American studies say 18 to 25. But they need to get these people ready for the workforce to pay taxes. So, of course, they're going to say that. There are other studies from around the world, specifically the UK, that completely contradict the American study, stating that the brain is not fully developed till 25 to 30. And I have to agree with that in my own personal experience. I did not come into awareness until approximately 30 years of age. Prior to being 30, I really don't know how I survived. I don't remember drinking water. I don't remember grocery shopping. I know I did those things, but it was kind of like I was on autopilot and on a different planet in my head, you know? It's crazy. I'm not making excuses for this girl. 20 years is severe, especially when sex offenders can get next to nothing. And this poor girl was not only a victim of abuse her entire life as well, but she is of her environment, which led to her handling this situation the worst way possible. And she was absolutely trying to kill that child. By the grace of God, that little boy is alive. But she got almost 20 years. It's crazy. It's really crazy. Some of these cases make me sick. Anyone talking about anything other than content is going to be fucking blocked. This is ridiculous. I'm not oh. Here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do. I'm so sick of hearing it. I mean, if y'all were concerned about your own fucking life, you wouldn't be as big a piece of shits as you were. You know what I mean? If you were as concerned about your own fucking life as you are fucking mine, you wouldn't be a big piece of shit. Jesus Christ. Ugh. I'm going to make me another cup of coffee before I come through this camera and fucking strangle somebody. It's ridiculous. Damn dummy. What is wrong with people? I don't even want to fucking hear it. I'd rather punch you in the face. I don't argue with idiots. I'm not listening to it. Not listening to it. Oh, God. Yeah, I don't agree with. It'd be completely different if it was like, what's that other girl? Skylar Richardson? Speaking of Richardson, did y'all see the Olympic Brooke Skylar Richardson? Now this is completely different. This was premeditated. She burnt this baby. She buried this baby. This is completely different. This is a girl that grew up with 2 loving parents in a very prestigious home. Like they had money, honey, okay? You know, ain't it crazy that I can't eat something to eat, make me a cup of coffee, and wash my ass without the internet just losing their shit? It's crazy. You know, I used to have a house, like land, and a car, and the internet's worried about a cup of coffee in a closet. I'm just... Y'all, let me tell you something. The reason that this didn't work in 2014 was because I wasn't ready. The reason it worked last year is because God has made me ready in the past 10 years for this. I needed to be in a certain place internally to be able to handle this. And he knew that when I wanted this years ago, he knew that I wasn't in the place to handle this. But I've gotten there and I handle it. People will never even be able to conceptualize unless they step on this side of the fence. It's really crazy. It's really crazy. People are jealous of a cup of coffee and a fucking shower. It's crazy. And they have homes and children and people that love them and careers. Like, I have never, and they're so unhappy. They're so unhappy with their lives. They are literally over here trying to fuck mine up. And, you know, prior to coming to this platform, I really was gaslit into believing that I was a bad person by society. And over the past 2 years, I've discovered that I'm nothing like the majority of society. That's why they hate me. That's why they're after me. So let's talk about Brooke Skylar Richardson, because this case really bothers me. Let me recall. So she's from Ohio, and this case was national. Like it received national attention back in 2017 after she was accused of killing and burying her newborn baby. She was ultimately acquitted. You heard that right. Another Casey Anthony. She was also ultimately acquitted of aggravated murder, involuntary manslaughter, and child endangerment in 2019. However, She was later convicted of child abuse of a corpse, or convicted of abuse of a corpse, and sentenced to 3 years probation. The probation was later terminated in early 2020, and she served 14 months. So I want to put a side-by-side comparison to these two cases, the Al case and the Richardson case. Alva did not come from a loving family. She was sexually abused and physically abused the majority of her life, and she had been on her own psychologically for a long time. Okay. Brooke Skylar Richardson come from a home of money, prestige, generational wealth. By all inward and outward appearances, this girl had it freaking made. Okay. Never seen a harsh word in her life. I'm joking, you know, rich people. She was a cheerleader. She did all kinds of, I think, dance stuff. If she said, Daddy, I want a pony, Daddy'd be like, here's a pony. Okay. Isn't it interesting that the girl that had money and comes from a loving home, who has never seen any kind of trauma or abuse, is the child that gets off for murder? But the child over here that was a product of her environment, where she grew up getting abused, used, mistreated, and not guided in the right direction, she faces 20 years in murder, and she didn't even kill a child. So anyways, this little shit, yeah, I don't like this girl at all. Back in May of 2017, she was then 18 years old, Brooke, and she was a high school senior. She had actually just went to prom. First of all, can we talk about how stupid these parents are out here that cannot recognize the body shape of their children? You could never pull that shit in my house. No. You could never hide a pregnancy from me. I'm on it. Do you hear me? In my opinion, those parents absolutely had a suspicion that Brooke Skylar was pregnant, and they ignored it. Sure did. And her prom pictures, you can see that she's pregnant. Here, let me. Brooke Skylar prom pictures. Yeah, it's crazy. You can literally see that she is like 9 months pregnant. Prom. Images. Yo. I forgot how bad it was. That is a baby bump from hell. And that's not the only one, but like, now my phone is seizing out. I'm sorry. But we didn't know. You know, she went from, hold on, there's several photos. She went from skinny mini. And you know, when she stands up, that stuff protrudes out. So her parents, and that was from when she was pregnant. She was like 6 months pregnant there at the beach with her family on vacation. They ignored all the signs. They absolutely did. She stopped having her period. Her mother didn't even question the fact that they weren't having to buy tampons or pads. You couldn't pull this shit on me. So anyways, and I think that part of it is out of sight, out of mind. Rich people, well, all people like to live with blinders on, unless there's like definitive proof. That's not true. That he's not a pedophile. He just really likes children. He's not, you know what I mean? So I do think that her parents are idiots. So she actually killed this child. She gave birth in her bathroom, if I'm not mistaken, on the bathroom floor of her $1 million house. And her parents' $1 million house. Hold on one second. She then took the baby and tried to burn it. She said that the baby was never alive. This is one of the ways that she was acquitted, because she said that the baby was never alive. I don't remember. I'm wiki. So on May 7th of 2017, 18-year-old Brooke Skylar Richardson gave birth at home and buried her newborn daughter in the backyard of her parents' home. And it was more than that. This baby had burns. Okay. She mutilated the baby, but I think it was an attempt to destroy the baby so that she could hide her secret. I do not think there was like malicious intent to like desecrate this baby. It wasn't like that. She was trying to get rid of the baby to hide her crime. 2 months later, she described what happened to her doctor, who reported the incident to police. She was acquitted of all charges. However, she was later found guilty of abuse of a corpse and received 3 years probation. Let me remind you, that other woman didn't even kill her child, and she got 20 years. So she was a varsity cheerleader in Ohio. She's the daughter of Kim and Scott Richardson, has a brother. She developed anorexia, bulimia. She has post-traumatic stress disorder. Girl, bye. You ain't even lived yet. Oh, well, you might now from killing your own child. On April 26, 2017, a high school senior learned at a gynecologist appointment that she was pregnant and in her 3rd trimester. Richardson kept her pregnancy a secret from her friends, family, and 2 days after attending her senior prom on May 5th, she gave birth to a girl in the bathroom of her parents' home. The baby in the backyard. And this ain't even talking about the burning and trying to, I mean, she literally took a lighter to the skin of she was holding a lighter to the baby's body, trying to ignite the baby. I mean, it just really goes to show how dumb these children are. You know, it shows that they're children. So it looks like on July 14th of 2017, the skeletal remains of an infant were exhumed from the backyard of the home of her parents. Following an autopsy, forensic anthropologist Dr. Elizabeth Murray determined that the baby's bones were partially charred and died of a homicidal violence. So this was an intentional killing by a girl who was a teenager, who was about to graduate from high school, was about to go off to college. She was about to have the prestigious college experience as she had the prestigious high school experience. She didn't fuck that up. I don't understand how people like this get off with murder and people like Alva get 20 years in prison when they didn't even kill anybody. And they're actually suffering from mental health problems that their parents caused them. This child is a whole different story. She come from a loving home. You know, the type of loving home that's like the Brian laundries, like the laundries that would literally lie for her. That's the type of home that Brooke came from. If it came down to her parents covering for her and lying for her, they absolutely would. They absolutely would. They got to protect her prestigious college experience. Just like the laundries. So let's see. In a recorded interview by police, Richardson agreed with investigators' suggestion that she tried to cremate the baby. So she said she was trying to cremate the baby. I mean, and I believe that. I believe that. That's the teenager being naive, being dumb, thinking, you know, not knowing, I don't know, physics, science. Like, burning a body is not easy at all. I mean, once it gets going, it'll burn. But it's not like you can just like stick a lighter to skin and then set something on fire. So it just really shows how naive she was, you know. Yeah. I don't know. It's really sad. It's really sad. I don't understand how she didn't get any time. Her probation was terminated in 2020, 2 years early. So she did 1 year of probation. That was it. That was her whole punishment for all of this. 1 year probation. You know why? And you know why Alva got burned at the stake? Because she didn't have none of that. Nor family support. These people are sick, y'all. I wonder what she's doing now. Hold on, let's see. What is Brooke Skylar Richardson up to now in 2025? It doesn't say. Well, she's probably off at college living up the life like nothing ever happened. How sad. How absolute sad. Can we talk about Jennifer Soto for a minute and Maddie Soto? Because Steven Stearns, so if you don't know who this asshole is, he's all over the current news recently. He murdered his girlfriend's 13-year-old daughter, and he had been sexting her for like 7 years, approximately 5 to 7 years, since Maddie was young. So I heard her biological father talk in court, and he said that he recently told Maddie that she could come live with him if she wanted to. And I think that was one of the components that led Steven Stearns to killing her. He got life in prison. Why? Why? And this is Florida too. I'm actually extremely surprised. The plea agreement allows Stearns to avoid a potential death sentence. We might as well just let everybody out of prison, fire all the cops, get rid of the government. I mean, that's the track that we're headed down. We already defunded departments, and now we have general justice, and now crime has risen. And when we catch these perpetrators, we don't execute them. We give them a free ride. Do you know he's like 40? He could stay alive for another 60, 70 years. Your tax dollars are going to go to feed him every day, when we could have just put a bullet in his head for free 99 and eliminated a fucking problem that can never be fixed anyways, because there is no reform for pedophiles. They can't. There's no fix in this behavior. They'll always be perverts. It's the only, I don't know what to call it, a psychological ailment. It's the only psychological ailment that we can't fix, pedophilia. These types of people, they're non-reformable. There's no reason to waste tax dollars on them. There's no reason to feed them and keep them housed. They'll never change. They're the only people that are completely incapable of change. Pedophiles. It's just crazy. There's no reason to even keep them around. And I bet you what, if we lined them up and started taking them out, this behavior would end. People would think twice before they acted that way, because that's discipline. It's crazy. I'm just so frustrated because Maddie went through absolute hell her whole childhood. Her whole childhood. He knew he was losing grip. She had a crush. Her father was willing to let her move in with him. And Maddie, I think, would have done that. You know, Maddie was dealing with a mother that had drug problems, okay? Mental health drugs in mass quantities like Jennifer Soto takes. It disrupts the whole family. I'm speaking from personal experience. I had an aunt that was on tons of mental health drugs, okay? Amongst other things. And she was never a functioning mother for her children because she was a chaotic mess because of the mental health drugs. And you know, it's ironic because Jennifer Soto, after she reported her daughter missing and she's in interrogation, the only thing on her mind when they revealed to her that her daughter's 13-year-old body, her 13-year-old daughter had been found in a ditch, the first thing out of Jennifer Soto's mouth is, "Where's my mental health drugs? I need to get my mental health drugs." It's crazy. It's absolutely sickening. This woman sent her teenage daughter to go sleep with her boyfriend. This mother told her daughter, go sleep upstairs with Stephen, whatever you want to call him. Why is she not in jail? Because of mental health drugs. That's why. I mean, seriously. That's literally the only honest explanation, is that she has been on so many heavy drugs over the years that law enforcement and the prosecutor's office feel some level of empathy for her ignorance and stupidity because of a lack of mental stability. Do you get what I'm saying? That's the only logical explanation as to why they didn't charge Jennifer Soto, because she absolutely was complicit in this, but it was a lack of intelligence that led her to being complicit. Does that make any sense? She was literally an idiot. She didn't know what was going on under her own roof. You know, she was floating down the Nile. Oh, he loves us. Yeah. Stephen Stearns, though, should have been taken out back and shot like Old Yeller. It just frustrates me. It frustrates me so bad. I feel bad for Maddie. Maddie didn't deserve any of this. Imagine being a child. Maddie was like 4 or 5, when Stefan started dating Jennifer. She was young. She was real young. Imagine being that child and trapped with him for 5, 7 years and getting sexually abused, and you know your mother's right there, and there's no one to help you. You got your biological dad, you got teachers at school, and you got your mother, and nobody is smart enough to pick up on the fact that this man is unnaturally attached to a 13-year-old child. I would have been able to see that shit from a mile away, even if I didn't know that child or that man. It's crazy. People are really getting dumber. And that's why these things are getting worse. Because people see stuff, but they're too stupid to know that they need to say something. They're like, oh, that's natural. Oh, that's normal. Or they normalize it in their own head. There's no way that people didn't have some kind of inclination that this man was obsessed with Maddie. They're all idiots. And Jennifer should be in jail along with Stephen. I mean, it's crazy. It's sickening. You know, why is it that if I go take heroin and then kill somebody, the court doesn't give a fuck that I was high? But if I take big farm prescription drugs and then I go to the court and I say, oh, Your Honor, I'm on Xanax and Zoloft and Depakote and Paxil and Seroquel and da-da-da-da-da-da, then I can have a reason by mental insanity. But it's the same thing. Those pharmaceutical drugs are the same things as street drugs. They're just fucking made in a lab, homie. Drugs are drugs. It's crazy to me. It's crazy how there's a double standard when it comes to mental health drugs. And those things are just, Xanax, hello. That is just as bad as heroin, if not worse. This has been proven. You can actually die from Xanax withdrawal. So, you know, it's crazy. You're not going to die from damn weed withdrawal or methamphetamine withdrawal unless you're dehydrated. You know, why is it that big farm is not viewed the same as street drugs? Because it should be. It should be. You can get a DWI on an Ambien. You can. But it seems like when it's psychiatric medications, the court views it different. It's weird. It's really weird. I do believe that the reason Jennifer was not arrested is because of her mental health problems and her mental health drugs. And I also believe that the reason her daughter was abused and killed was because of her mental health problems and her mental health drugs. She had never been a present mother. She did what she needed to do to look good on the outside, and I don't think that was by design. I think that she was just barely getting fucking by because she had severe mental health problems. Maddie was never in a safe space. She couldn't go to her mother and tell her about Stephen. She couldn't talk to anyone about what was happening to her. She was alone for 5, 7 years, the whole time that Stephen was molesting her, sexually abusing her. She was going through that alone as her own mother, who was so high on mental health drugs, slept downstairs. She needed to get her proper rest. Remember that? That's why she sent Maddie to sleep with Stephen because she needed to get rest. It's literally written in the court papers. I sent Maddie upstairs with Stephen because I needed to get a good night's rest because I haven't had a good night's rest. Crazy. I mean, you really have to ask yourself why a mother would put her own sleep schedule over her child's safety, but that's in fact what happened. Jennifer said that she had not been sleeping well. This was her excuse. And I just want to be clear that Maddie actually was forced to sleep with Stephen on several occasions. This was not a one-time incident. This is something that had been taking place in that home for years, for absolute years. So Jennifer would make Maddie go up there and sleep with Stephen. And maybe Jennifer is so naive. Maybe Jennifer is so naive that she thought because she let Stephen Stearns into the family when Maddie was like 5 or 6 years old, maybe she thought that they had this father-daughter relationship. But I'm here to tell you that even from the fucking outside, if she thought that, she made that shit up in her head. Because Stephen and Maddie never had a father-daughter relationship. Maddie absolutely hated him. She was disgusted by him. She was uncomfortable around him. She didn't want to have to see him. She didn't want to have to hear his voice. She didn't want to have to ride in the car with him. He was her first fucking stalker, okay? And she knew that. And she was coming to the age where she was about to do something about it. She had a little boy at school she had a crush on. Her father, her biological father, who she had an extremely strained relationship to because of financial reasons. I heard him speak in court. He has so much guilt and remorse, and I feel horrible for him. He said that he wasn't a part of Maddie's life because he didn't have his shit together and he wasn't financially stable. And I understand exactly what he's saying. And only a parent that's been in our type of situation could understand how finances will prevent you from seeing your child. It will. Completely. Hard stop. So a lot of people would be like, oh, nothing ever keep me from a kid. Okay. All right. Yeah. And they don't even have kids. He felt horrible that he was not there for Maddie. And he said that he had recently told her that she could move in with him. And so she was going to do that. She would have done anything to get away from Stephen. He was the whole problem in her life. You know, this is a grown man, 40-something years old, abusing a 13, 14-year-old child and below. She was like 7 when this started, or maybe even younger. Investigators were able to find out kind of like a timeline because Stephen Stearns had all of these pornographic pictures of Maddie on a child porn on his phone in different stages of abusing her throughout the years. What if there's like a public petition and enough people sign it and then we can get him killed? I'm joking. Like, for real, can we petition the court? Can we get enough signatures to change this to a death sentence? I mean, I'm so sick of this gentle justice. Whatever happened to a jury? I thought they were supposed to get... The juries are just idiots. Who allowed this? I thought the jury was, supposed to make these decisions, but apparently not, because he took a plea deal and he was also able to plead no contest to some of the charges, which means that he did not accept guilt when he's guilty as sin. I don't understand. I feel so bad for Maddie. They all deserve to be in jail. Jennifer, the grandparents, Stephen Stearns' parents, all of them deserve to be. They're all idiots. Everybody missed every single warning sign. Nobody was there for Maddie. Not one person. Not her grandparents. Not Stephen's parents. Not Jennifer's parents. Every single person in this entire Soto family ignored every single warning sign. And she had all of them. Every single marker for child abuse she had. It's just crazy. It's crazy. It reminds me of my situation when I was a kid, you know. All these medical professionals incapable of picking up on what I had going on. It's like, wait a minute, didn't you go to school for like 12 years to become a clinical? And you don't know how to recognize rad? It's really crazy. It really goes to show that they don't know what they're doing half the time. If they go to school for damn 12 years to become a clinical psychologist and then they can't recognize trauma in a child that's sexually abused, that's literally their job. To pick up on the warning signs, to pick up on, what would it be? I guess the behavioral patterns of children who have been abused and are living in abusive homes. This is part of the reason that CPS does such a horrible job at their job, because they're getting dumber. So they don't know how to pick up on these signs. They're just dumb, y'all. They're just dumb. Simple as that. They're just dumb. You know, there's certain markers for children that have certain behavioral problems, and those behavioral problems tell you a story about the trauma that they've been subjected to at home. So I don't know how, you know, I was a child sitting in a room full of 10 doctors and 5 psychologists, and nobody picked up on the signs of abuse. And the same thing happened with Maddie. Her teachers, her own mother, they all ignored it. They all ignored it. And I think, in my opinion, they wanted to ignore it. They wanted to ignore it. Yeah. That's the way it is nowadays. That's the way it's always been with sex crimes. People want to ignore it. Look back in the 1960s. If you went to your mama and told them, let's say your daddy was a raging alcoholic, sexually abused you, and you go to your mama or your grandma and tell them what's going on, they're going to cover up for him. That was the culture back then. He's not going to face any time. And matter of fact, they might actually move your ass out of the home to a whole nother freaking state and punish you because you told on your abuser. That's the culture. And we're still like kind of like right there, you know, like we're right there. And I think it's because they're trying to normalize pedophilia. You know, if you're paying attention to what's going on in the world, then you know that they're trying to destigmatize this type of behavior. They're trying to lower ages for consent. It's really sick. And what we know about early child development with the brain not being completely, you know, formed until 25 to 30 years of age, it's really sickening to think that they have this evidence that these people are not actually adults till later, and they're still trying to lower the ages, and they're still trying to pass laws to be perverts. It's crazy. It's sickening. It really is. What was that organization? MAPS, Minor Attractive Persons. This is an organization. They are an organization that is trying to destigmatize pedophilia. They say that they admit, this group of people admit that they are attracted to children, and they say that there's nothing wrong with it. It's crazy. You should look into MAPS. Yeah, it's crazy. It's absolutely sickening. Oh, y'all, I'm about to run. I'm so tired. I've got to get back out on the road. I'm extremely tired. Let's just stay up. I didn't even want to like go live today because I haven't had any sleep and I was up last night. I'm thinking I'm going to switch my schedule up a little bit to more accommodate being on the streets and like the hottest part of the day. Try to stay out of the sun because I'm getting so burnt and dehydrated that I'm having health problems. So I'm thinking that like switch my schedule up a little more, you know. I know one thing. The only thing that like I've learned from this entire past 2 years is that I'm a lot stronger than I thought I was. It's been really crazy. It's also showed me how bad these mental health problems are out here. You know, I have to deal with people on a daily basis that have mental health problems. It's really concerning how there's a lack of help for these people, you know. How many was it yesterday? Like 10 of them, you know. There was 10 like different stalkers yesterday that I had to deal with. All of those people will either end up in jail's institution or die, you know. It's just the way that it is. When you're already that young and you're having that type of behavioral you're having really bad behavioral issues and like you ain't even started living yet, but you're literally out in the streets causing problems, yeah, you're going to end up in prison for the rest of your life. It's just a matter of time. So, it's crazy. Look at all of the people that we've had to deal with in the past week just being out there. All of those people have severe mental health problems. Otherwise, they wouldn't be in the streets looking for me. Sane people do not go looking for people that they do not know. Only mentally unstable people will go and try to meet someone that they do not know and interject themselves into their lives. That is mental instability. Never have I ever. It's crazy. And most of those people that were harassing me yesterday are going to be arrested. And most of them are juveniles. So that changes the dynamics. Could you imagine me having to gut some child in the fucking street? That'd just be the icing on the cake, wouldn't it? Well, then you could actually say I was a child abuser. Then it would be legit. And I wouldn't be a child abuser. I'd be a woman who was defending themselves against a child who was a pervert. I want to be very clear that the reason that these types of perpetrators are obsessed with me is because they have a hard-on for me. Okay? So let's put that there and keep that there. They would not be in the streets looking for me if they weren't attracted to me. Okay? These are sex crimes. These are the start of sex crimes. This is voyeurism. This is gang stalking. This is the start. This is the start. We've talked about this and talked about this. If you've been here, then you understand what I'm saying. So it's just crazy. Hold on one second. So this was back in February. You think I'm joking? Okay. Hold on. Sorry. So it was a 15-year-old boy. Come on, man. Florida. This is out of Florida. 15-year-old boy sentenced to 25 years for the rape of a 91-year-old woman out of Marion County. The 15-year-old boy who pleaded guilty to the rape of a 90-year-old woman was sentenced Friday to 25 years in prison for burglary and sexual battery. Jesse Stone will also receive a 30 years of sex offender probation and must register as a sex offender and enroll in anger management classes. He was only 14 years old at the age of the crime. The incident occurred in a small town of Redrick in Marion County. Deputies say Stone knew his victim as he mowed the lawn for her. On the night of the attack, he entered her house through an unlocked door, went in her bedroom, putting a pillow over her face and beat her in the head with his fist as she fought back. The perpetrator's grandmother told the judge that his mother left him when he was only 5 years. Nobody gives a fuck. Everybody's dad went out to get the milk and never came back. You don't see us raping 90-year-old women. Nobody cares that your mommy ran off. His grandmother said he's always had anger problems. I'm going to read through the bullshit for us. His grandmother said that he's always had massive anger problems. You don't say. What told you that, Grandma? His actions are egregious. Granny, thank you. We already knew this too, Grandma. His grandmother said that he also had been watching tons of pornography, including content involving elderly adults just before the attack. Yeah, I bet so. So deputies arrested Stone a week later after processing evidence from a lab in-house. I'm sorry, this freaking thing keeps jumping. It you roll it down and then it jumps back up. And then you roll it down and it jumps back up. Can y'all get y'all's websites together? So he's watching lots of porn. He had an anger problem. He was sad that his mommy ran off. So it looks like they did DNA testing. He ultimately pled guilty in November of last year, or no, February, sorry, this year. Yeah, so as you can see, that little sick fuck, these are not isolated cases. Hold on one second, y'all. Hello? Hey, Summer. Now I can't find it. I swear to God, Google be hiding stuff. Here's one of them. There's like 6 of them that I remember from the past like 4 years, though. A 12-year-old was arrested in connection to an attempted rape in Queens. A 12-year-old, homie. 12. The suspect is accused of pushing a 37-year-old woman to the floor and trying to remove her clothes. The suspect was believed to be around 20 or 30 years of age, but then Tuesday night, the police said that a 12-year-old boy was charged in the case. He faces charges of robbery, assault, sexual abuse, criminal possession of a weapon, and menacing. 12. There's another one that happened recently that I can't find that's pretty egregious, and I can't find it, and I'm thinking that they're wiping it off the internet. He R-worded another child, and now I can't find the report. Ain't that weird? It was just up for 2 weeks, and now it's gone. It's weird. Let's see if there's some statistics on teenage boy sex crimes or rates. I know that they fucking imploded. This is not like, we saw a 3% increase in sex crimes and voyeurism and rape and human trafficking and blah, 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 blah. No, this has surpassed that. Because of the internet, these things have we're talking like hundreds of percentages of growth, okay? And it's only going to get worse because of pornography, because of how it rots and deteriorates the brain, because of how it crosswires people to be into things that are not even normal or socially acceptable. Violence, violent content. That's what they're watching. What are little boys watching? Violent sexual content. Studies show that juveniles, including teen boys, are responsible for a notable percentage of sexual offenses. You don't say. While most perpetrators are adults, juveniles commit a significant number of these crimes. Let's see here. Prevalence estimates. Around 15% of rapes are Uniform Crime Report data indicates that approximately 15% of those arrested for rape are under the age of 18. However, victim reports suggest that juveniles could be responsible for up to 40% of sexual assaults. Little deviant shits. A 2000 Bureau of Justice Statistics study reported that 23% of sexual assault offenders were under the age of 18. That's almost 1 out of every 4. Sexual assault is perpetrated by a teenage brat. Duly noted. Age and gender. The majority of juvenile sex crimes are committed by boys aged 13 to 17. whole dark underbelly that the media doesn't tell you guys about, right? Although girls under 18 and children under 13 also commit these offenses. You know, like Dorothea Benham, the one that killed my friend Tiffany Long, like her. You know, we do see women do stuff like this. It's usually in a gang setting with other people, but also women are just as bad as they can be sexual predators too. They're just as bad as men. Victimization by juveniles. When juveniles offend against minors, male offenders tend to have older victims than female offenders. So these little shits are literally out here attracted to older women. Studies show. Reporting. Sexual assault is significantly underreported, with only about 25% of assaults reported to the police. This suggests that the number of juvenile sex crimes is likely an underestimation of the actual number of offenses. Yeah, it's probably doubled, if not quadrupled, because, like, what did it say? 1 out of 3 or 1 out of 4 report? 25%. So that'd be 1 out of 4. And this is a lie. This is a lie. This is how Google lies. I'm going to read it off to you. Studies consistently show that treatment for juveniles who have had sexually offended can effectively reduce their risk of reoffending. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And matter of fact, this behavior only gets worse with age. This is the only psychological disorder that these people have that we cannot reform. We can reform people from being violent. We can change the way that people operate and think about things. We can handle mental health things like schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, but pedophilia, this perversion that is within them, this lust, this is the only thing we can't fix. It's the only thing we can't fix. It's non-reformable. We just need to take them out back, firing squad. There's millions, if not trillions of dollars that have been wasted on trying to reform these people when there is no reform for them. What we need to focus on is making sure that they're not cross-wired when they're juveniles, because that's what happens. People are not born this way. They're created this way. This is part of environmental, the situation that they live in, and then exposure to pornography. This is what this stems from. It's a sexual perversion. It's a sexual perversion that we cannot reform. And they'll always be predators. They'll always be predators. That perversion within them, it's like a junkie wanting a fix. Sex is their drug. It's the same thing. So they'll never kick it. And most sex offenders, most of these perpetrators, they will deny. Yeah, so as you can see, this is becoming a big deal. And these types of juveniles grow up to be adult offenders. And all they do is they start their perversion, their voyeurism, their sex crimes early on. And all they do is cultivate a better pattern of breaking the law. They just become better experts at how to get by with sex crimes. They learn how to have access to children or the victims that they seek out. All they do is cultivate their rape styles. Yeah. Most pedophiles will never admit that they're pedophiles. The behavior is non-reformable, and the best option is to execute these people. Hopefully we'll get there one day. South Carolina just executed a man for the first time in a long time. I think they did 2 men that they executed. And so maybe that will start spreading like wildfire in this country. We've got to get to a place of justice again to prevent these types of perpetrators from feeling like they just have free reign to kill and harm women and children. It's really crazy that the whole purpose of man is to protect. It's his job by God, you know. So it's crazy that men in the 21st century have become the perpetrators of hurting women and children when their sole existence, their whole purpose is to protect women and children. It's really devastating. It's heartbreaking, you know. Like that post I put up the other day when I said, you might have to literally fight for me. I didn't mean like you're going to have to fight. Like, I'm going to put the expectation on you to fight for me. But what I'm saying is if I was dating someone and we were out in a fucking social, say we were at Chili's, okay? Say we were at Chili's and some strange man comes up and just whacks me in the freaking face. I would hope whoever I was with would kill that son of a bitch dead up in Chili's. But modern men would not. Modern men be like, oh, hold on, honey, I'll help you up in a minute. Let me call 911. Things like that are why I'm single. When I'm tougher than most men I meet, why do I want to be with a guy? I mean, I don't want to be with a woman either. But when I am tougher than most men I meet, I'm not interested. I like men. I don't like soy boys. I don't like faggots. I like men. You know? It's crazy. It's really crazy. I think that people have gotten so soft, and that's part of the reason this like femininity has seeped into men. They're scared to be masculine. They're scared to be themselves. They're scared to have balls. So the easy out is to just be feminine. It's a lot to live up to just use your masculinity, I guess, in the 21st century. They're scared to be men. Scary. Hey, Derry Lindsay. I'm good. My kids are in loving homes. They are. They are good Christian homes with people that love them. Hello. I don't even, you know, it's crazy that the internet wants to come here when I don't even have a fucking home. I don't even have a fucking home. This has got to be one of the fucking funniest channels on YouTube. I mean, it's just literally comical how ignorant people are. So what you telling me? You think I should have my children out in these streets with me? Out in the elements? Out getting stalked? I love this. I really, you know, I told my parents when I was a kid I was going to fight the world. Damn. I never thought in a million years I would make money off of arguing with idiots, but here we are. Let me find out that my children would be better off out here in these streets with me, and they would be safer with me in my current predicament. Let me find out that I'm a horrible mother because they're in loving homes. Oh, God. I love it. Oh, thank you. Hello today, big guy. Darren Lindsay, I hope you've been doing well. Did y'all have a good weekend? I wonder how hot it is out there. I haven't been out there in like 2 hours, 3 hours, and it's really like heated up. I'm burnt. I'm burnt. Look at that. That got sunburnt the other day. And it's in the stages of healing, so now it hurts even worse. I got straightened out in the sun. It wasn't even my fault. Like, I was out there, and I was actually expecting somebody to pick me up, and they didn't pick me up for 2 hours after they said they were going to pick me up. And so I had to bicycle down the road, and this was in direct sunlight, and I didn't have any Band-Aids or a shirt to put over it. So it literally got burnt on an 11-mile bike ride because someone left me stranded. That's just how it is. Did I tell y'all what happened last night? So I'm sitting at the laundromat, and I'm chilling. I'm posted up. I'm waiting for, like, so when I'm sleeping out there, y'all saw I didn't sleep last night. When I'm out there, never mind. There's a reason I didn't sleep last night. This girl rolls up. I was doing some recon last night. So anyways, this girl pulls up. I'm at the laundromat. I just got off the phone with you guys. It's probably about, it was like 10 or 11 because the little old man that comes over there that runs the laundromat, I waved at him. The owner, the owner has an attendee that goes by every night. He checks the laundromat, closes everything up. I saw the attendee. It was like 10 o'clock. He would have been shutting the laundromat down. Waved at him. And this girl rolls up and she's like, hey, she's like, you got a YouTube channel? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, I thought that was you. She's like, I've seen your YouTube. And so we start talking, right? Because she was just by herself. It wasn't like, let me tell you something. There's like 2 different types of people around here. There's the meth heads that literally run after me in the streets. And then there's this girl. That's what I told her. I said, no, you look respectable. Usually it's some meth head chasing me around, trying to be my best friend, telling me they're my biggest fan. I said, that was crazy. Were y'all, listen. You know what sucks? Is I have to like, being in this small town, people, and knowing that people watch you, they get offended by what you say. I shouldn't feel bad at all. There was a woman that clearly, in my opinion, has drug problems. I was running down the road one day. You guys were on live with me, and this woman comes out of nowhere. And, you know, listen, I'm going to use this opportunity as maybe like a teaching tool for my followers. We do not go around people that we even assume have a drug problem. And matter of fact, we just going to always assume that everybody's high on something until we can prove otherwise. It's unfortunate. But so many people out here look normal from the outside. And then you get a little glimpse in the inside, and it's a whole different story. You got to be very careful. And your recovery is 90% of your recovery. If you can stay away from people, places, and things, you'll stay clean. And that includes anyone that tries to come into your life to help you. You don't need everybody's help. This is what I mean. Some people will come into your life to help you just to hurt you. Anyways, there was a girl around town that I could tell is struggling in addiction, and I hope she gets clean. I would love to be your friend, but you got to be clean to be my friend. I can't be your friend when I know you're on drugs. It sucks. And matter of fact, I can't be your friend even if you get clean. Sorry. Yeah. I don't hang out with other addicts. I hang out with people who have only done sobriety. That's part of people, places, and things. And that completely contradicts NA and AA. But in my opinion, this is also why people are not getting clean and staying clean. Recovery is 90% people, places, and things. Once you get clean, you don't need to be dating other people that are in recovery. People don't want to hear the facts, but this is also why people are not getting clean and staying clean. We should never encourage, I don't care how long they've been clean, we should never encourage 2 people in recovery to be together. It's damn near impossible to even work. The stats on that are ridiculous. It never works. It never works. It's only a matter of time. So I operate different. And maybe me showing you guys how I operate can help other people stay clean. Because what I'm going to tell you to do, you'll never hear a rehab tell you to do that. Because what I'm going to tell you to do will keep you clean. Rehabs don't want to keep you clean. Rehabs want to keep you clean for a few months, let you fall down in the street, and then they want you coming back through that door so they can milk your insurance. They have not been giving proper medical care or addiction services to anyone since the start of this. And was it been 60, 70, 80 years? How long? I mean, you know, it's crazy. I don't hang out with anyone that I know is in recovery. I stay far away from people. I don't care if they've been clean for 20 years. Good for you. Nice to meet you. Have a good day. I don't hang out with other addicts, people that are in recovery. And I would advise other people who are in recovery to stay away from other people who are in recovery. It's just the way that it is. So anyways, this girl comes over there. She's really nice. We had a conversation. And, yeah, so remember when I was at Hardee's last night and those crazy bitches come out, and she was like, she said, our manager sent us out here because they were yelling at somebody through the drive-thru window. Remember that? That was crazy. And anyways, I'm sitting over there with this other girl on the park bench, and we're talking, and they were closing down the Hardee's, and these crazy bitches come out trying to fight each other or something in the parking lot. And the girl says, yeah, that place is full of drama. She's like, that is the #1 place in town that is riddled with drama. She said, especially the morning shift. She said, all of those people over there are not only troublemakers, but they will get you locked up for something you didn't even fucking do. Like, they're insane. Okay? So these girls at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night when Hardee's is closing, they're screaming. We don't know if they're screaming at us. I don't give a fuck because they're children. They're teenagers. They're like 18, 19 years old. Just like the people that are stalking me in this town. They're children. So me and her are laughing about that. We're sitting there smoking a cigarette. And freaking those girls get in a car. And they peel out of the Hardee's parking lot. You can hear them screaming at the top of their lungs in the car at each other. It was absolutely crazy. I'm never going back in there again. Those bitches are insane. Do you hear me? Certified. Certified. You know, and it's so weird because the one girl, a heavyset black girl, she was always really nice. And it was weird because it was like overtly nice. You know? Like she was putting on. So it was interesting because when I went in there last night, the vibe was off. I was like, oh, these bitches done found my channel. That's what happens. Yeah, they play all nice because they think you're just a regular customer. And then when they find out that you have a YouTube channel, oh, man, then the fucking claws come out. They think you have all of this money. I don't know. I don't know. Did they think that I have all this money? I don't know. I don't know why having a YouTube channel makes people hate you, but it does. It absolutely does. And it's like, if you're so fucking jealous, why don't you go start your own? I'm sure you'll do well. You've got the personality for it. Crazy. So, yeah, I'm never going back in there again because I can already tell that these people are not right in the head. And that, you know, it's crazy because that Planet Fitness situation happened, in my opinion. It was part of God's plan for me to showcase to people how not only what I say is true, but to showcase how the justice system is nothing like modern society thinks it is. And also to showcase how if you are in fact a felon, that anyone can pick up the phone, make a lie, and have you arrested for something you did not do. Because that's exactly what happened during that Planet Fitness incident. So me being the person that I am, knowing that I am going to stand up for myself and I have something to stand for that's honorable, you know, like God's word. So knowing who I am, I'm not even going to put myself back in the situation of that place because I already know who they are. And this is how you protect yourself against idiots. We just don't even go in there anymore because they have the mentality of high schoolers and we are adults. You know what I mean? You just don't put yourself in a bad situation expecting, you know, shit not to go wrong. Like, don't put yourself in that situation and then be surprised when it goes south. You know? Yeah, so I do believe that these little hussies were able to like somehow find my YouTube channel and they feel some type of way about it, which is most people. It's really sad. Like I'm literally on the street. Like I was literally charged with crimes that I did not do and had my life fucking imploded. So, and my child stolen. Like I've literally lost everything. My home, my land, my vehicle, school, everything. And still and yet, the main objective of society is to harm Brooke. I mean, it's crazy. It really goes to show that people are really struggling mentally. It's self-hatred that leads to this behavior psychologically. It's a fact. People are petty, aggressive, passive-aggressive. They act like children. They operate on feelings. They need to get back at you. They need to one-up you. That is all from insecurity. It's a lack of identity. It's self-loathing. Miserable loves company. When you recognize that people are not screwed right and they have the propensity to be immature and then to operate off of feelings and get you back or be cunning and manipulative or two-faced, it's best to just cut your losses and stay away from anybody that behaves that way. And that type of behavior is becoming so fucking common. That's the disappointing part for me, is to meet all of these adults that are in higher positions than me, that are supposed to be respectable members of the community. They ain't never been in no legal trouble, never had no drug problems, never had, you know, got loving families that love them and careers and, yeah. But they're out here fucking with a homeless woman who has none of that. I mean, it really goes to show the evil intent, the way that people hate themselves and they want other people to suffer because they're not happy. People want to destroy me because I have strength, because I have the will to survive, because I'm happy. Regardless of what's been thrown at me for the past 2 years, I still smile every day. And that's why they want to destroy me. But, that happiness comes from knowing who I am on the inside. You can be happy too if you cultivate your soul. If you stop worrying about what I'm doing and focus on what you need to do, your happiness will grow. It's crazy. It really is. It's crazy. I wish somebody would have told me sooner that I needed to work on myself, that I needed to figure out who I was, that I needed to form my identity. I'm just glad that we got here. Because I used to let other people dictate who I was. I used to let them tell me who I was. And I think a lot of people do that, especially children that have like friends and stuff. They're incapable of being the leader of the group. They have to follow, like those boys in that truck yesterday, like the gang mentality. Neither one of those children would ever confront me head on. They can't even confront me in groups of 5, for God's sakes. The best they got is to drive around honking a horn. They'll never get out of the car and actually say something to me because they're pussies. And the internet is responsible for this type of behavior. See, these little keyboard gangsters can get on the internet and say whatever, and they don't face any consequences. Nobody knows who they are. So even if it was discovered what they said, there's no public shaming. There you go. There's no shame. The internet has created a generation of people that do not have to face any shame or consequences for the things that they say or do. Okay? But when you catch them out here in the streets, it's a whole different story. Whole different story. They don't want no problems. You know what I mean? They don't want to get out of the car. They don't want to actually fight. Like, they're children. And you have to be careful, because if you end up killing somebody like that, their mama's going to be on the news, and then you're going to have to figure out how to make bond. Well, I won't. I'll be out of jail within a few hours. Given all of the content that I have, the constant stalking, the classification of PTSD, when and if I ever have to kill somebody, I won't face a day in jail. Stokes County, Madison, Mayadan, you need to get your children under control. Thank you. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Hello, Holly. Good afternoon. Yeah, it's crazy. You know what else I was thinking about? Like, people literally hate themselves so much. They want to see harm come to some woman who doesn't bother anybody. And if I wasn't pretty, it wouldn't be this bad. If I weighed 300 pounds and I cried and felt sorry for myself every day and I didn't make an effort to change my life, then it'd be a different story. Then I'd have the masses over here like poor Brooke. But because I stand up for myself and I have a big fucking mouth and I want people to know their fucking rights, then I'm the problem. So because I don't behave the way that society expects a victim to behave, society wants to try to harm that victim even more. It's just like petty ass people who do not get the result that they want out of you. Relationships are give and take. Most people deal with each other because they're going to gain something from each other, right? Okay, well, fuck. Give and take. Fuck. Fucking holes in my brain. It's not from porn, though. It's from trauma. Most people deal with each other because they're going to gain something from each other. I completely forgot what I was going to say. Misery loves company, yes. But also it's deeper than that. Shit. Y'all. So much deeper than that. But yeah. I forgot what I was getting at. It really sucks to have these. I wonder, like, if it's ever going to get better. It's so bad at times. I really wonder if my memory is ever going to get better. It's from extreme trauma. It's from the CPTSD. It's from all of these traumatic episodes, being sex trafficked, being raped, being beat, everything that I've been through. So it's really crazy that, and this is how they scar victims. This is how traffickers harm victims and trauma bond to them, the codependency, because victims, when they're going through this trauma, it impacts them, and then their memory, and then the gaslighting and the narcissism, you know what I mean? And they stay trapped even longer because shit, they can't even remember shit. There's still stuff that's coming back to me that I've been through that I didn't even know I'd been through. So like, yeah, I wonder if my memory is ever going to get better. I really do, because it's so bad. Like, it's actually a miracle that I'm not in like permanent psychosis. So I'm grateful that I'm where I'm at, but like still it really bothers me that like my memory is so fucked up. And sometimes like I have really great thoughts about content and then it's gone. It really sucks. I wonder if it's ever going to get better. Exactly. Damn it. I did not block that, Francis. Francis, what the fuck? YouTube has so many glitches. And now I'm trying to click on it. It won't even let me click on nothing. Nothing will pull up. Like, what the flip? Yeah, my memory's all fucked up. Oh, thanks, Aaron. I ain't had no sleep. We were up all night long. Yeah, we were up all night. It's okay. I got like a private piece of wooded area that I'm gonna sleep. Not a private, but it's a private place. Like, nobody will bother me. I'm gonna go out there and sleep when it cools off this afternoon. Yeah, my parents wouldn't let me out here in these streets like this. I don't know how everybody's children is just out here acting a damn fool. Do you understand that my parents would have beat the shit out of me in front of whoever I offended? Like, I'm not even joking. If one of our neighbors would have went over to my parents' house and said, "Oh, Brooke," I don't know. What would I have done? I don't know. Let's say that I was stalking one of the neighborhood's children, okay? Let's say that one of the neighbors come over and said that I was bullying their kid. Do you understand that my parents would have drugged me by the hair on my head, literally, drug me through the fucking neighborhood, do you hear me, to whoever's house I was bullying their child, and they would have laid my ass out in the yard? But that's probably why I have respect on a whole different level than most of these fuckers out here now. Abuse is horrible, but I'm grateful for moments of my childhood because I hold a whole different level of respect for society than they even hold for themselves. Look at them. Look at them. Yeah. I really wish that I had a story of me being a bully, but unfortunately, I've always been the person that handled bullies, which is why I have a criminal record. So, you know, I wouldn't know, but I'm telling you right now, my parents would have beat the living shit out of me in my bully's front yard. Like, whoever I was bullying, they would have beat the shit out of me in front of the kid I was bullying. And that's how you handle your teenage brat. Seriously. Like, it's getting ridiculous out here. I think maybe we should bring back maybe a small portion of corporal punishment in the home because this gentle parenting is not working. How did my generation end up being the best generation? We get it. We respect others. We get it. Like, even the boomer generation doesn't have the amount of respect that millennials do. So, and I have to think that it's because of the way that we were raised. Tough love, get outside and play, go drink out of the water hose, watch your mouth, or I'll watch it for you. And then the next generation was this gentle parenting thing, which is leading to all of it. Speaking of which, there was an 11-year-old boy, I do believe in Asheville, that shot at a moving car while he was on a bicycle in the middle of the night. You know? You didn't hear about shit like that in the 80s, the early 90s. Sure, they'd have random cases of children in gang-like mentality harming other people or something, but like, it's getting worse. It's getting much worse. And it's because of a lack of parental guidance. It's because of a lack of punishment. At the very least, discipline. I don't agree with corporal punishment, and actually studies show that it's psychologically damaging to the child, which is why I've never implemented it because of my own upbringing. But at the same time, I don't know. Something needs to change. I mean, do we need training schools? Do we need more wilderness camps? What needs to happen? Because something needs to change. It's getting really bad out here. And then finding out that these are kids out here. The kid in the Subaru, the little Subaru yesterday, he just turned 18. He just turned 18. That is a child in that Subaru. Just turned 18. I mean, at least if, worse comes to worse and I ever have to defend myself and he ends up dead, at least I didn't murder a child by law. But, listen to what I'm telling you. That's an 18-year-old predator. Okay, we're going to call it what it is. 18-year-old predator with no cutoff mechanism to tell him that he shouldn't. And even though he hears the word no, he still does. That is a sexual predator in the making. Listen to what I'm telling you. This is the start. They start by stalking, then it finishes with rape and murder. Just like voyeurism is a gateway to sexual perversion and sexual crimes, it's the same thing. Stalking is the new voyeurism. Because of the internet, it's going to get worse. Ladies, strap up. Strap up. Strap up. And don't think twice. Pull that fucking trigger. Yeah. Yeah. It's absolutely crazy that this child just turned 18 and I am the topic. I'm the topic. It's weird. I've never met this person. Never even had a conversation with this person. I do know what they look like. White male, goatee, blue eyes, blah, 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 blah. Usual suspect. I can look at his picture and tell that he has no parental guidance. He doesn't come from a good home. Some people just have that look. You can already tell they're wrapped up in nefarious shit like drugs, alcohol. Some people just have that look. If you don't want people to think you're a little hoodlum, then maybe put some effort in, okay? It's really crazy. 9mm, hell yeah. It's really crazy. This is a child that will spend probably a good portion of his life in jail because he's incapable of understanding that he's breaking the law. And, that's the thing about this new generation. I don't think they care. I don't think that they care that they're breaking the law. I think that they think it's a joke because they know that the justice system is on some gentle justice. Yeah, I think that these are going to get worse. All of this. Yeah, just turned 18. And already out here fucking his life up. Well, I got his home address. So I know his locations. I can see his location and his car in his driveway at all times. When he leaves, I can see when he leaves. It's really crazy what you can find on Truth Finder. But not only that, talking to people in the community, you can find out things here because it's such a small town. So I know his location. I actually know of his family as well. I have personal details. And like I said, I can actually look from satellites and see his car in this driveway. It's crazy. So as the time goes on, I guess I'm kind of adapting and learning things as well. Learning, I guess, more technology, you know, like how to operate things like Truth Finder and stuff. And then also satellite imagery, Google Maps, public records. I'm getting good at pulling those. I guess I'm kind of just growing with all of this and learning. I don't know where it's going to take us, but we definitely should think about doing something with all of these people who have mental health problems that do not understand what the word no means. All of these people that stalk, you know, this problem. And these girls, this is the problem. So this type of behavior is amplifying, but people are not getting smarter. So that's going to create more victims because they don't know how to defend themselves. They don't know how to stand up for themselves. Look at poor Emma. Y'all, there was a child that was 18 years of age. Her name was Emma. She was working in a gas station. Some lunatic come in and tried to steal something. She told him, she's like, you can't take that. He kidnaps her. He said, oh, well, I can't have cigarettes. I'll take you then. He did. He tried to shove her in his car. It's a horrific surveillance footage. I mean, she is fighting for her life. You can literally, she looks like she has on a Scream mask. You know the mask from Scream? Her whole face, the entire encounter is just, she is literally in fear of her life, and he's trying to shove her into a Tacoma. And do you know that the media spent the entire article talking about why she defended herself? I'm mad that she didn't have a gun to shoot the son of a bitch in the throat. And you think that the media should spend their time explaining why she defended herself and she had a right to do so? I really just think it's stupid. It really goes to show that women can't defend themselves when they're under sexual assault or kidnapping. It goes to show how our rights are disappearing. If people don't wake up, we're going to get to a point where women are completely confined to homes because of the sexual perversion that is running around on the streets, and your poor children can't even go outside and play. We're already halfway there. We have got to arm women up with knowledge and strap them the fuck up and get these men under fucking control. If need be, y'all know how I feel. We can just take them out back. Take them out like Old Yeller. When did women and children become just something for men to play with? I think it's always been that way. It's disgusting. But when did women and children just become an object for society to play with? I think it's always been that way. I think it's always been that way. It's sickening. He would have absolutely killed her if he got her in that car. Emma, that got kidnapped from the gas station, he would have absolutely killed her. It was only because of her own strong will to survive, that she got away from him. All of these people, dozens, witnessed this, and not one person went to help her because people are scared. They're scared-ass pussy bitches. And it infuriates me. It really does, because that's why these problems in society are so bad. Because people are sheeps. They just accept it. They live with blinders on. It doesn't affect my life. No, it does. And one day it might affect your granddaughter or your grandson. Lord forbid. Emma did nothing wrong. And that guy that tried to kidnap her, he deserves the death penalty. These sexual predators do not deserve second chances. Because 100% of the time, they reoffend. 100%. That perversion, they cannot control themselves. Just like this 18-year-old kid that drives the Subaru, he cannot control himself. There's no cutoff mechanism. He hears no, and that sounds like yes. It's sick. It's sick. Sick, sick, sick. All of them. Straight to the death penalty. All of them. I really have an extreme hate of pedophiles and men that harm women and children. I mean, they're the worst type of offenders in the world. And it's so funny that I would get marked for something I didn't do. And now it's become my life's mission to spread awareness about these things. It's sick. Francis, YouTube keeps marking that, not me. You know, it's so crazy because, like, that idiot, he's like, oh, women have it easy. Really, sir? You've had to suck a dick for food before? Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. God, I just, you know, I just, you know, I wish that we could trade positions for one day. I wish we could. And then, Lord forbid, you can't even live your life because of the amount of women, and I'm sure most men would love this, but the amount of women that are interjecting themselves into your life to sexually harass you and stalk you. You can't even live a typical day. You can't go get food. You can't fucking go work out. How many times was it yesterday? How many times is it on an average day that I am minding my business, bicycling through town, trying to complete a triathlon, get food and water, and the perverts, I literally have to beat them off with baseball bats. On average, it's about 5 times a day that I catch on camera. Imagine, you can't even live your life because other people don't know what the word no means. It is so bad out here, and the prettier you are, the worse you fucking have it. It's crazy. It's crazy. And, you know, society has gotten into this culture that they want to see pretty people harmed because they're not happy with themselves, and that's why they blame beautiful women for the rape. Most prostitutes suck dick to eat. I'm sorry. I hate to inform you. But there's not ever been a singular prostitute on the planet Earth that wanted to be a prostitute. She doesn't want to sleep with you. She's only sleeping with you for money so that she can eat, so she can pay for childcare, so that she can pay for a roof over her head, so that she can invest in a 401k for her future. Prostitutes, ladies of the night, sex workers, they don't want to fuck you. Is this revolutionary? Am I saying some shit that we didn't already know? Prostitutes are prostitutes to survive. It's crazy. It's crazy. It really is crazy out here. You know, like Bonnie Blue and Lily Phillips? You know why Lily cried? Because she didn't want to get fucked by all the men. Are we really in a place in society where common sense doesn't rule us anymore? Do we not see things for what it is? Who screws that many men and then their first on-camera interview is just tears? That was very telling. Only someone who wants to screw her, just screw her, would overlook the fact that she busted down in tears right after she had to complete this mission for Satan. She busted down in tears and had a damn mental health breakdown. Oh, I'm not crying because, and then runs off to the bedroom. That was shame. That was guilt. That was regret. That's a child that has been coerced and conned into selling her body. You know who her manager is? Her mommy. Her mommy. I might actually commit kidnapping and create a hostage situation before either one of my children ever ended up in sex work. I'm being for real. I might actually kidnap my own child and do some stupid shit. That's because I love them. Loving parents don't gear their children into sex work. Lily and Bonnie both are fucked. I do believe that Bonnie is a full-blown narcissist. I do. Not only do I think she's a narcissist, I think she's a sexual predator. Let's not forget that she made her content off of sleeping with teenage boys when she's a grown-ass woman. So it's so weird how men, if that was a man, we'd burn him at the stake. But these teachers and women out here are displaying the same type of sick, perverted behavior, and people clap for it like seals in the fucking streets. And then we wonder why these teenage boys don't have their heads screwed on right. But we promote this degeneracy through her. I think most of us here don't like these two people, and thank you for having sense and caring about humanity in the future. But it's really concerning to see these parents pimping out their children. And it's sick. It's absolutely sick. I'm telling you, I might actually commit felonies before I would let or promote or let my children get involved in something like that. Most parents that love their children, that are good parents, would never, it's like Britney Spears, but times 10. Think about what happened to Britney, how her parents pushed her into stardom. She started with the Mickey Mouse Club, then the conservatorship that pisses me off, because the reason that Britney lost her fucking mind was because of all the fucking toxic people she had in her life. She was a cash cow. They had her on mental health drugs. They were just passing her around. Lord knows what she was actually subjected to, because there is this thing called a casting couch. And I can promise you, in my opinion, she would never have reached the level of stardom if there wasn't an exchange. In my opinion. And Lord knows what Britney's actually been through. Her parents pimped her out, just like they did Jamie Lynn, just like Bonnie Blue's parents, just like Lily Phillips' parents. This is the Britney situation 30 years later, but in sex work. This is the new Britney situation. Statistically speaking, between Bonnie and Lily, the probability of them both getting on drugs and ending up dead are more probable than not. We'll see what happens. It is my belief that, specifically Lily, she's the one that I'm worried about, because she has a conscience. She's not a bottomless void like fucking Bonnie Blue. Bonnie Blue, in my opinion, is a full-blown fucking narcissist. Lily, seeing her cry after being subjected to what she done to herself, and oh God, it's so deep. Is it her in control? I don't think it is. I think that this is borderline sex trafficking. If you condition a child from 12, 10, whatever, to put all of their worth into their body, and then you condition a child to start having sex and being nefarious, okay, and you condition them, that is grooming. And then when they turn 18, you throw them into fucking OnlyFans. In my opinion, that's sex trafficking. You were conditioning the child from an early age. You were grooming them to go into a line of sex work for you to profit. That's what we see Lily's family. This is the dynamic of that family. So it's very concerning. In my opinion, Lily has a conscience and there's hope for her. But I also hope that she doesn't fall into drugs or end up dead from this. Bonnie can go missing. I don't give a fuck. I feel horrible for Lily because I see empathy and compassion in her and regret. That's the only reason I feel bad for her. And also, Lily is still a child. Lily's still a child. So Bonnie's not. I think she's pushing more like 27, 28. So she's coming into the age of maturity. Frontal cortex is developed. She knows what she's doing. She's been very aware of what she's doing. She is demonic. Demonic. Do you hear me? Demonic. It's really concerning how people don't see it. But that's also that they're living a life of sin. That's, why. Yeah, absolutely, Christopher. Absolutely. Lily Phillips' parents is completely in control of her entire career. They do all of her scheduling, all of her casting. They meet all the people she's going to fuck. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. How is that not child abuse? That is child abuse. And we're watching it. And when she ends up damn dead, I told you. I don't care that she's of age. She has codependent ties with family. And now she's trauma bonded to her mother and her father. She just went through a traumatic event. That's why she cried. That's why she cried. You know, and I wonder how many millions of men saw that and thought those were happy tears. You know? How do you rationalize that in your head? How do you watch this woman sleep with 1,000 men? How many was it? I don't even know. It doesn't matter. It was somewhere near 1,000. How do you watch this woman sleep with 1,000 men and her first comment after she has to do all of these people is just tears? How do you rationalize that and say, oh yeah, she wanted that? I think people just, you know how like you're dating somebody and you're like, it's toxic and they gaslight you and you like believe their lies even though you know what your eyes saw. It's the same thing. It's the same thing, you know. People want to believe what makes them feel good. They operate on emotion and not facts. And the fact is that Lily is being subjected to tons of abuse right now. And I do think that she is having an internal struggle into who she actually is. She has the media, the millions, her family, all of these people over here in her ears saying, this is what you need to do. This is going to secure your future, blah, 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 notoriety, blah, 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 blah. But I think on the flip side, Lily is probably the only person in the room with a conscience and a soul. I'm literally getting chill bumps. If you ever see this, Lily, you are worthy of love, and you should not have to hand your body out to thousands of people to prove your worth. It's disgusting what your family has done to you, and you need to get away from them to save yourself. Seriously, it's really concerning the way that she broke down. It's so telling that she does not want to be in that situation. And she's probably the only one with a conscience. And I hope she gets away from her family one day. Your mother and father are supposed to guide you in the direction of a stable future and a healthy lifestyle. And they have done the complete utter opposite for you, Lily. They've led you down a dark, dangerous path. You've probably already got STDs. That is not your fault. I mean, it is, but it's not. You're trusting the production. You're trusting your team, management. But you can't trust those people. They're not your friend. They're trying to profit off of your body. You've got to get away from those people. I digress. It's just sad. Maybe somebody ain't told her. Maybe, dropping the hat. You never know what could happen. Maybe somebody just ain't fucking said it. Pisses me off. And then you got millions of people out here clapping like seals in the streets for this degenerate behavior. Like, maybe somebody just ain't told her that ain't normal to have your parents pimp you out. Makes me sick. Makes me absolutely sick. Yeah, I'm wondering if she'll, like, get strung out. Statistically speaking, 1 out of 2 will. Between Lily and Bonnie, statistically speaking, one of them's going to end up dead. I hope it's Bonnie. I hope it's not Lily. Bonnie's soulless. Like, you know, I mean, she's just soulless. I really wouldn't, if, like I said, if she gets missing, oh well, she did it to herself. Lily's a different story. Lily has been groomed and coerced her whole life. And, you know, I wonder what kind of sexual abuse she was subjected to. You cannot argue with numbers, stats. And most sex workers were abused as children sexually. The majority. Well over. Close to 90%. They've been conditioned from an early age. I don't know. I really hope that nothing happened to Lily, but clearly by her own behavior, the stats, it's more probable than not. And so we really don't know the history of her and how deep this goes with her own family and what she's been subjected to. I feel horrible for her. The two people that were supposed to love and guide her are the most detrimental people in her life. And they're leading her. And like I said, it's more probable that both of these girls already have extensive STDs than not, because of the way that they do the testing. It's not foolproof, and it's not safe. It's not safe at all. Yeah, I fixed it, Francis. I fixed it. Hey, Luna Star. Let's see. How old was she when she done her first porn? How old was her first adult feature? Oh. So she's 24 now. Jesus Christ. I'm going to go to Wiki and see. I want to know something about the family history. I'm making it. So it was just last year. She comes from an upper class family as well. Her parents owned a business. It says the family was economically upper class. So this started out as a business arrangement. She tries to say that, oh, she was sleeping at guys with college, but she was sick of giving it away for free. So she went to OnlyFans. It's preposterous. She was at college when this was going on. So mom and daddy, in my opinion, was cutting off the funding. So she had to find a job. And so she decided to go to OnlyFans, in my opinion. And it's not that deep. So it looks like she started an OnlyFans, but it wasn't going well at all. So she decided to start filming. She invited guys to have sex with her and film it for OnlyFans. So she had an OnlyFans, but it wasn't doing good and she wasn't making any money. And so she took to Instagram to promote screwing this 100 guys in a day. And that's really when she took off. So it was only because of the degeneracy that she even saw popularity. Because when she had an OnlyFans, it wasn't doing good. She wasn't making money. Because you don't make money on OnlyFans. You got to do something degenerate to fuck, or be Bad Baby or damn Nicki Minaj to make money. The average girl next door will never make even $1,000 from OnlyFans every single month. I don't care if you're pushing out work 100 hours a week. You will not make $1,000 a month from OnlyFans. It's a lie. It's a scam. I know OnlyFans models, and they don't even make $300 to $700 a month. And they work 60 to 100 hours a week. Not to mention all the bullshit they have to deal with. All of the guys that want their personal time that they have to text and talk. And that's not included. That's more of your time. You're literally going to be spending all of your day talking to fucking perverts in hopes of fucking making money. No, thank you. No, thank you. I did that for 17 years in a strip club. No, thank you. It's crazy. Yeah, you got to do something pretty degenerate, like sleep with 100 people or 1,000 people to even get, like, you know, yeah. So in October of last year, she called for participants to have sex with her, blah, 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 blah. How Phillips did not appear to know that HIV could be transmitted orally. So here you have an adult, I use that word lightly, adult performer, who is not even aware of how STDs are transmitted. It's my belief that both of them have massive STDs, Lily and Bonnie Blue. Because of the lack of proper testing, there's only one conclusion, that both of them have some sort of STDs. Neither one of these women properly test any of these men that they've had sex with. It's all a joke. And I can break that down in a different video if you're actually curious as to how the testing works when it comes to these things, because I have firsthand knowledge. So it's really disturbing how this industry is putting people's lives in danger. Yeah. And the sad thing is people that watch this degenerate content, they're also just as dumb as the people that create it. So they're out here passing around STDs too, trying to reenact this shit. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we talk about STD on this channel. That's one of the things that we cover here. It's really concerning how modern society does not know how STDs are transmitted, how you can get them, how they're passed. I mean, it's crazy. Lily Phillips is one of those people. She did not know that she could get HIV from sucking dick. A scene in which the cameraman reached after attempting to film a room full of used condoms. So, after Lily had sex with these men, the cameraman actually went into the room where Lily did this event. He immediately started gagging. That's how bad the smell was. There was condoms strewn all over the floor, condoms all over the bed. You could see that it was disgusting in there. And as soon as the cameraman walked through the door, he started gagging. But this is all safe and everything. It's disgusting. Let's see here. So it looks like this interview ended with a tearful Phillips stating that she had completely disassociated over 30 men in the group. So she blacked out. This is how traumatic this is. Let me just be clear. We disassociate when we're under attack from trauma. Disassociation comes from the brain trying to protect itself in traumatic moments. She openly admits that she disassociated. Then she breaks down in tears. What you saw on camera with Lily Phillips, I'm literally getting chill bumps. What you saw on camera with Lily Phillips was her getting abused. You witnessed sex trafficking, a minor form. The fact that she openly admits that she had to disassociate, which is leaving her body essentially, to deal with the trauma that she was being subjected to in that moment is very telling for me. This is why I feel bad for her. This is why I think there's hope for her. She's processing right now what she's going through, and she's trying to decide if her family loves her or not, and why they would put her through this if they do love her. She's trying to find identity. The fact that she openly admits she doesn't remember having sex with the last 30 men that she screwed out of 100, it really goes to show that it was traumatic for her. And it's sad because she's been put into this box where she has to perform or her family's not going to love her. She's their cash cow now. And they're upper class. So they're used to a particular lifestyle. She knows that. She knows that. I don't know. I really hope that Lily one day comes to terms with what's happened to her. And I hope that she becomes an advocate for young girls. But these child stars, you know, I do, in my mind, this was premeditated. It was premeditated by her family. You know, it's so much deeper than her deciding to open an OnlyFans. She did open an OnlyFans, but it wasn't going well. And at which time her and her mother came up with this plan. So it's deeper than that. It's deeper. This was a seed that was, in my opinion, planted by her family. I hope that she doesn't end up on drugs dead, but statistically speaking, that's more probable than not. Also, I hope that she becomes an advocate for other girls in her situation. You know, rich kids have a little bit more pressure, in my opinion, than kids that come from like middle class or lower class families. Rich kids' parents want them to be just as rich as they were, if not more. They want their children, their offspring, to surpass what they did in their career. And so, in my opinion, someone like Lily would have severe economic pressure on her from her family to surpass what they did, okay? It's not like she can ever go just work at fucking Panera Breads and be happy. Absolutely not. She would be a disgrace to the entire family. Do you understand? So she has this pressure to become somebody, to make something of herself. And I find it just horrifying that this is the path that she was put down and that she chose. And I do think that it's because she probably comes from an upper class family. She's got to keep up with the Joneses. Sad. And, you know, I'm just here to tell you that her mother being her manager is a huge red flag. It's just like the Britney Spears thing. And I swear, if there's ever a time where they like involuntarily commit this girl, I'm going to be right there like, free Lily. Because I understand how she's been conditioned and coerced, and I can't even really put it into words, but it starts at a young age. And it's my belief that she would have never went into this line of sex work if she did not have some kind of sexual abuse in her past. It's literally more probable than not. It's sad. Feel bad for these girls. Not Bonnie. Bonnie can rot in hell. She's a sexual deviant, evil, you know. But Lily, I do feel bad. Y'all. Well, y'all, I'm going to go. I'm going to go relax for a little while. It's almost 5 o'clock. I need to try to eat something I haven't eaten today at all. So, haven't had time. Haven't been anywhere to eat. I'm in a food desert, so it's not like I can just... I ain't got a car, you know? Makes things difficult, so you just go without food sometimes. But I'm going to go eat something and try to relax. And then, yeah, I got to go back out to the streets tonight. So, I'm glad that I got a shower and be able to eat something. But, yeah, I am homeless, so, and probably will be for a long time. And it's just the reality. Can't do anything about it. So, oh well. Oh well. I think I handle it better than the internet. But, you know, I had 9 months to prepare after those false charges, so I knew what was going down. It's crazy how you only make a $400 paycheck from YouTube, and people think that you can pay a $3,000 truck note every month, $2,000 in gas, $700 truck payment, and then $150 in insurance. That's what I was paying just to live out of a car. Yeah. For those people that are thinking about moving into a car, I hope you make at least $3,000 a month, because that's what you're going to need. It's crazy. Yeah, people was like, where's your truck? I'm like, what are you talking about? I only made $400 a month for a year. That's not even grocery money. What do you mean, where's my truck? It's crazy. So I think I handle it better well than the internet. I think I handle it better. Yeah, I'll never release financial information anymore. Absolutely not. Like, that was my first mistake because I'm such an honest person. I wanted to release financial records and I used to, and then people would take that information and twist it around. You know, it's really disturbing how miserable people are. That's why I stay away from people, because people that are miserable will try to make your life miserable because they're miserable. Happy people can't be around miserable people. It'll fuck your happiness up. It's like non-toxic people going around toxic people. Your life is going to end up toxic. That's why I stay away from people, because no matter what my circumstances, I am still happy. You know why? You know why? I got something to look forward to. Heaven. Yep. It's crazy how when you work for him, you really are just filled with this happiness. It's crazy. It really is. It really is. When you know you don't harm nobody, you have no ill intent, you're not mean and nefarious, and you're not out here trying to harm people. It's crazy how happy, like being a good person makes you happy. It's crazy. But I've always known this because I've always been a good person. I've always been happy no matter what my circumstances, whether I was in prison, whether I was being trafficked, whether I was down on drugs, whatever I was going through. I've always been able to just make the best of the situation. That's probably why I'm handling this so well now. You know, being a foster care kid, growing up in the foster care system, growing up in the Department of Corrections, you know, you learn how to adapt. So I'm grateful for that. But stay away from people that are unhappy. That's why you're not happy. Yeah. I stay away from everybody. But I'm going to go, and I hope you guys have a good day, and I'm going to relax. We might talk tonight when I'm back out on the streets. I don't know. I don't know. I was hoping to work out today, but I didn't get no sleep last night, so sucks. I hope you have a good day. Y'all stay safe out there, and thanks for hanging out. Bye, Israel, Holly. Y'all have a great day, and stay safe. Pray for me. God knows I need it, and I'm praying for you guys. Bye, Luna Star, and I'm praying for you guys. Bye, y'all.